Hey, everybody. Welcome to Flash Fright. Almost said Grease Trap, but I didn't.
You're just wishfully thinking, TJ.
The Grease Trap? Oh, yeah. I mean, Grease Traps are usually way more fun to record than Flash Frides. That's for sure.
Yeah, because we get to, like, do what we do best, which is shoot the shit. You know what I mean?
Right. Whereas, we just get to fucking blather on endlessly. Because, like, every single one of us is clearly, like, to at least to some extent, in love with the sound of their own voice. Me and you probably more than Scotty, but, you know.
You have to be to do this, though. Like, to do this job, if you don't like the sound of your own voice and the look of your own stupid, vacant face, then you can't do this job.
Yeah, that's true.
Let's hear more about me. From me.
Me.
Welcome to the
What do I have to say about that? Here's my opinion.
Simpletons have to say, quiet! I'm talking, you fools!
It's interesting what you have to say, but really what the people are waiting for, of course, is what me thinks, of course.
All right, now that you've heard Paul's bloviating nonsense, here's the truth of the matter.
Here's TJ's filler. Now that you've gotten the full meal, you know. here's the sprig of parsley next to your steak.
Everyone grows tired of hearing these buffoons beneath me. Literally on my recording, beneath me. Now it is time for the greatness that is Scotty to speak.
Why is your chamber pot speaking? I don't know. I can't tell you. But now the steak is back. And yes, you're enjoying the buttery goodness. Oh, my God. I love this. Let's just do this instead of look at this horrible, depressing news, please.
We could do that.
Let's just do a long-ass grease trap.
Well, you know what we do is we'll just look at this. We'll just talk. We'll look at this story. It says juror in Breonna Taylor case said grand jury didn't agree fatal shooting was justified. And then we'll just, we've read that headline. Therefore, we've met our news quota. And now we can just say whatever we want. And just say, like, man, with that Breonna Taylor story, that really went off on a tangent, huh? That was crazy.
The people would be mad at us, though, TJ.
Oh, no.
The people expect us to go through the torture of having to read about the horrible things going on in the world and talking about how we feel about it. Like, our torture is their catharsis. You know, they get to watch us suffer, and ergo their suffering is made remote.
So we have seen. All right. Well, I guess if we got to talk about it, then here's what we can say. Here's what I can say anyway. We've seen these cases come up before grand juries over and over again, and usually the grand jury comes back and says no charges, no charges, no charges.
Justified.
So in this case, we thought that had happened again, but now we're learning that this grand jury was not even allowed to consider homicide charges against these officers.
Really?
Yeah, the idea about whether or not this shooting was justified was not even brought up. There wasn't even something they were allowed to decide upon. So this was a completely, basically a fraudulent grand jury.
Wait a minute.
It's a kangaroo court, gentlemen.
That's what I was going to say. So basically a kangaroo court is what you're saying. It was a total fucking farce trial kept behind. This is why these grand juries have to go. Because they're kept out of the public eye and the public knowledge. And we go on thinking that the jury looked at all the evidence and considered all the fucking possibilities and came up with, no, he didn't do anything wrong.
Well, here's what we're told. A grand juror who heard evidence in the Breonna Taylor probe said Tuesday that the grand jury didn't agree that her fatal shooting was justified, a disclosure that came after a Kentucky judge ordered records in the proceeding released to show if publicly elected officials are being honest. In a statement, grand juror number one... Yeah, whether or not they're being honest, which we can always pretty much take for granted that they're not. As the person who's been identified by lawyer Kevin Glogauer said the only charge presented during the proceedings was wanton endangerment. Former Louisville Police Department Brett Hanskin was indicted last month on the charge of firing shots into the apartment of Taylor's neighbors on March 13th. Kentucky Attorney General Dan...
Hold on.
Yes.
Every lawyer in this case has a name that sounds like the evil demon in a low-budget movie. The Glauger. It sounds like the what's the other one? The Mansion.
Yeah.
What's going on? What happened to like Smith and Jasper and Jones?
Once every 7 years, boy. The Gouger comes to feed.
All this
Gouger.
mud. You know what it is? It's all this mud blood making its way into the country. You know what I'm saying? All these foreign influences messing up the demographics.
We used
here
to
in
just
America.
have, it used to be Smith and Johnson. Damn
It
it.
used to be Smith and Johnston, and every once in a while you would hear of like a MacGruber or some such. But, those people were kept in their place in my day. But now it's just every goddamn name that you read sounds like a mongrel dog's name to me, Glouger, McClongingen. It's just starting to become absurd now, if you ask me. But whatever, you didn't.
Questions were asked about the additional charges, and the grand jury was told there would be none because the prosecutors didn't feel they could make them stick, the statement said. The grand jury didn't agree that certain actions were justified, nor did it decide the indictment should be the only charges in the Breonna Taylor case. The grand juror added that self-defense and justification laws were not explained either. In a separate statement, another grand juror represented by Glogauer said they were pleased with the judge's ruling Tuesday, and we'll be discussing next possible steps with counsel. So basically, the entire proceeding was a complete and utter farce, and I'm not shocked.
'Tis night, and 'tis the witching hour. The parents quake, the children cower. For what they know is the Glogauer. Boy, listen to me. You damn fool kids will never learn. If you mess with that cave, you'll awaken the Glogauer, you will. Oh, whatever, old man. The Glogauer.
What's going on the cave? What's in it?
It's just a cave, old man. Just a cave. Just a cave. The
Come on there, dude.
Glogauer dwells within there. That cave, boy. You whelps know not what ye do. I'm sorry. Breonna Taylor, she didn't get justice.
No shit.
There was no actual grand jury because they weren't allowed to consider charges against the people that killed her.
They're just
you know what it sounds like to me, guys?
Stay ye hence from the Glogauer. That's really all I have to say.
It's like if you see like 3-card Monty in the park, man. That's a fair game too under those standards. Hey,
here's the thing though. All this is a quick peek behind the fucking curtain of how everything works. This is this is not an outside incident.
No.
That's what I hope people take away from this. Like, this is bigger than Breonna Taylor. This is a peek at how for a century or more, the murder of black people, Hispanic people, poor white people, women, gay people, trans people have been swept under the fucking rug. We're getting a peek at the process of why when a black woman dies, there's not a big national fucking interest in it. But when a white woman disappears, the whole nation weeps. We're getting a peek at the system that makes black lives not matter. Right?
Absolutely.
This is how they bury it. When a cop shoots a black man or black woman in the back, there's a grand jury that's convened. And that grand jury is given instructions to keep their fucking mouths shut and not tell anybody anything. And that they can't consider murder charges. So do you think that they're not even being asked if it's justified? They're saying, do you think that this cop went out that day and meant to shoot a black man? Well, no. All right, grand jury over. Psh, dismissed. That's how it works. And if it's really egregious, like it was here in the Breonna Taylor case, there's a sacrificial lamb. One of the cops gets some charges, reckless endangerment.
Oh, you fucking the
endangerment.
He wasn't even
that
charged.
wall. Justice for the wall of the other apartment nearby.
Yeah. Justice for the drywaller that had to come and patch the bullet holes in those 2 other apartments, but not for Breonna Taylor.
It must have been some white people living in the other apartments. You endangered white people. Oh my God, we're sorry. Like, we didn't know. Oh no.
The hubris.
So, you're getting a look joke. Like I really hope that people don't think this is some isolated thing. You're getting a look behind the curtain of how they keep this shit, us versus them shit running. She was one of us. Breonna Taylor, no matter how you feel about her, no matter what your theory is about whether or not she deserved what she got, was a human fucking being. She was one of us. She was on our team. And one of them came and took her life. And we're getting a peek at how one of them is treated when they murder somebody. And how and put that in contrast to how one of us is treated. Should one of us go murder somebody?
Yeah.
They throw the fucking book at you.
Oh, yeah.
You're
Imagine
locked
if
up
you
forever. There's
imagine
no
if
grand
Breonna
jury.
Taylor.
There's no secret impaneled jury that looks at the fucking evidence that they're allowed to see and spits out a verdict that fits whatever fucking narrative. No, you get a public fucking trial and a public defender usually, and your ass goes to the slammer.
Well, you guys already know this. Imagine if Breonna Taylor had a fucking M16 and the cops had showed up and she'd blown 3 cops away. Would there have been a bunch of secret proceedings or what's going on here? No, it would have been a fucking state funeral. A million cops would have showed up and been like, this is the violence that police officers are facing every day. The book would have been thrown at her and her boyfriend. They would have been buried underneath the fucking jail.
I can hear the fucking bagpipes, Scotty. That's what it would have been. You know, and like that it would have been
was
the
a
whole
perfect.
fucking nine.
Hey, Paul, I didn't know you could play the bagpipes, dude.
You didn't know? Hold on, let me warm it up.
Yeah, come on. It's like I'm there, guys. It's just like I'm there.
Dude, I remember I was when I was a kid, they brought a dude to our school to play the bagpipes and like show it off and stuff. And it was like he was showing off. It was actually pretty interesting when like he was telling us about the different parts of it and stuff. But like when he was playing shit, I'm like, is every song on the bagpipes supposed to sound exactly the same? Because they all do. But all right. Yeah. So
oh boy,
more bullshit.
Yeah, they're loud as fuck too. They're a loud instrument.
So here's another uplifting story about how great our country is. Poll worker fired for turning away voters with BLM shirts. This is in Memphis, Tennessee. Poll worker in Memphis, Tennessee has been fired after turning away early voters who were wearing Black Lives Matter and I Can't Breathe shirts, an election official said. The worker was fired Friday after officials received a call from a witness at the Dave Wells Community Center in Memphis. Shelby County Election Commission spokeswoman Suzanne Thompson said. Tennessee law does not allow voters to wear items that bear the name of a candidate or political party in a polling place, but state law does not prohibit statements such as Black Lives Matter, Thompson said. The number of voters who were able to leave immediately.
Unfortunately, there's no candidate running on a Black Lives Matter slogan.
Yeah.
Or an I Can't Breathe slogan or an I'm with the people type of slogan. So, yeah, no, fuck these people who turn these people away. There's not political shirts for anybody.
I really don't. I guess that the reason you're not allowed to wear a political shirt is because you don't want fights breaking out at the polls or whatever. But
the sad truth of the matter is that Black Lives Matter and the racial justice movement that kind of surrounds it and is at the core of it doesn't have an advocate on the ballot. So political, like that, you know, kick me out too.
Well, this is
I'm
why
wearing
people
a shirt by a band that makes political statements through their music and shit.
Oh shit! Yeah, Paul, we have to kick you off the show, man. Sorry, no political statements here. Well, this is why people want to early vote, though. This is a big part of like why people are like feeling they have to vote early because shit like this can happen. You go there, it's like, oh, you're wearing a shirt we don't agree with. Oh, get out of here.
Why is it, guys? Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Why is it that I can sit down at my computer, which is pretty standard, not brand new, and at my fingers is pretty much any kind of porn, any kind of entertainment, any kind of like movie, music, or otherwise that I want to watch? It's all right there.
Yeah.
All indexed, all easily fucking get and if I want to do it on the go, I just pick this up and I walk around with it, right? And I've got it in my pocket, right?
Right.
Yeah.
How come I have access to every fucking piece of porn in the world? I've got access to every movie ever made, every song ever sung. But I gotta go mail a letter and send it with the postman to vote. It sounds like something from the fucking Wagon Times. Why are we still sitting around and doing everything else in the world remotely, more and more digitally? More and more people are working from home at jobs that normally people went to big depressing offices and sat in cubicles for. Like, why are we able to live in that world, but we still putting our ballot on the back of the wagon train as it heads east back to D.C. for that there election thingy that they're holding out there. Oh, yeah. You know what I mean? Like, why are we still doing this shit? Oh, I'm going on down to the polling place where old Mary Brown and her church friends make sure that everything runs smoothly while we vote for president. The president of the United States, sir. Like, why don't we have a fucking way of doing this that isn't like wagon train technology?
It's almost like, Paul, they don't want you to participate. It's almost like they don't. I mean, and let's be clear. I mean, we have no real influence on these elections anyways. You might rubber stamp one party or the other, but it's fucking the economic and ruling elites of this country that really have the most impact on actual policy. You know, you're just called every 4 years to go, well, which one are you going to endorse this time? Red or blue?
Which smiling face do you want mounting you? Would you prefer the fucking tender loving of Joe Biden or the rough, hard fucking of Donald Trump? You make your decision. Either way, your dick is going in your ass. So
here's the case, right? And you guys know this to be true. I can, from my phone via an app, schedule a wire transfer to any bank with which I have the right amount of information, like whatever they ask for a wire. It's like the routing number and the account number so I can wire money to any country in the world.
Yes.
From here.
Yes.
By using my authentication that they know it's me. They know it's on my device.
Yep.
And they're willing to send any amount of money that I can muster anywhere in the world. Yes. At the touch of a button. Okay. So I can accredit that I am who I say I am right here on my phone. So this idea that we need polling places or mail ballots to assure that we're dealing with real people, dude, yeah, maybe back in the fucking day, maybe back before everybody carried a super powerful computer in their pocket that carries all their information on it that can be used to fucking verify my identification to the tune of me being able to send money wherever I want. Or request documents. Like I can go on here and request documents for myself and prove that I am myself here. So I can go here and get the process started to get my fucking passport renewed or whatever it is I need to do.
Right.
Yeah.
But I can't go on here and vote. There's no like national accredited vote app, right? That I can just click on anytime before election day when it goes live and scroll through and click on the people who I like and hit submit. For some reason, they can't be reasonably assured that it's me.
Yeah,
my bank can,
Andrew Yang.
McDonald's can. DoorDash knows it's me every time I log in for some reason. but the United States government can't figure out that it's me on the app.
Andrew Yang wanted to use blockchain technology to help
100%.
Make sure it was, I mean, it's like a no-brainer.
You guys, we file our taxes online. When you pay the government, most people file their taxes electronically.
The government trusts it's me when I mail that check every year.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, every month.
My identification gets verified somehow, and that money gets fucking taken out of my account. So why can't they verify me at the poll?
We can't trust it.
Why can't someone might cheat at the ballot?
Well, you might cheat, Paul. Someone might cheat.
You're a cheater. You're bad.
If you used blockchain technology to tie your vote to the social security number that every fucking American citizen has, you have less of a chance to cheat. Some of these stories I know about people finding bales of extra ballots thrown out and shit are overblown, but it does happen.
Sounds like a lot of gaslighting, Paul, for communism. Dirty communist, Paul. You want every person in this country to vote? You out of your mind.
Last time we did this show,
electoral fraud is enabled because the technology, if you want to call it that we're using to process our votes is like Stone Age bullshit. It's literally a dude carrying a sack of ballots over his shoulder like he's Santa Claus or something and dumping it into a bin somewhere. And you can see the fucking room for just human error. Fuck malfeasance. Just in that process alone, delivering the fucking mail ballots from one place to another, humans have boundlessly stupid.
Yes.
So shit gets lost. And then you talk about how easy it is to fucking manipulate that shit. So that person could, take that sack and not show up with it right away and go through it and steam them open and fucking throw away Biden ballots or throw away Trump ballots and then take it in, Oh, I got that done.
There'd be so many ways to implement it. There's so many possible ways it could be done.
Well,
it's
remember,
just
For some reason,
it
takes like a full-blown hack for somebody to do that to my bank account. And for some reason, Jeff Bezos's money is completely fucking secure from that.
Well, let's remember too. We covered a story. I think it was last week or the week before about that crazy QAnoner who was working for the post office who literally just brought all of his mail that he was supposed to deliver back to his house, threw it in garbage bags, and left it on the fucking street corner.
Because, well, look, the powers that be know that if enough people voted, then it's a credible possibility.
I mean, think about how crazy it is too.
The third-party candidates could win. That the candidates they want to win wouldn't win. So it's like every obstacle for voting has been put in place.
100%. And think about this, guys. Even if you do vote, let's say you vote whatever you use the traditional method, you mail it in, you do this other stuff.
Yeah, you go to the polls, you go vote.
There's not even an easy way to check that your vote was counted. Or to confirm your vote was counted in the right way. Like you can't go to a national registry and be like, let me check on my vote. Okay, it says here it was counted, and it says here that okay, yeah, I voted for that. I voted for that. Right? Like some kind of
receipt? You mean like a receipt for your transaction?
Exactly, like a receipt.
You mean like when I go on my Amazon app here on my phone and I want to see what I bought yesterday and make sure it's on the way, I can click on it and they can make sure it's me and I can get that information and I can know that I ordered the right thing and I can see when I ordered it and when I can expect it.
Can't do an electoral. Can't do it with our voting system though.
Why can we do that with a pair of fucking edible panties, but we can't do that with a vote? Like what is the fucking what's the barrier here?
It's not can't. It's obviously not can't. It's won't.
It won't. Yes, 100%. It's won't. It's since the inception of this country, it's been about limiting who votes. And every time there's been an expansion of voting, it's basically just been okay. Well, we'll take one step forward. Oh shit, guys! Now you have to pass a literacy test. You have to pay a poll tax, or sorry, you can't vote because you're not the right gender. You're not this. You're not that. Our country's record on voting is abysmal. It's abysmal.
What if somebody sends in their vote 300 times? Then smart guy. It's like they can't. It's tied by blockchain to their fucking social security number. So if they try and do it, it'll be flagged and their one will be counted. It's not. But it's absurd to even they couldn't even do it once they've submitted their vote. When they hit the app, all it'll be is a tracking thing showing where their vote went and then a receipt for their transaction that year. They could look at the historical voting trends that they've had. That'd be cool. Like the app could be functional beyond just pick this, pick that.
It's crazy.
Like it could help. You know what I mean? It could help. It could help like old people who have a trouble with it, and it could help like young people who want to take a look at their voting history.
I didn't pull a story about it, but it's crazy to me that here we are mid-October, and I think 41 million people have already fucking voted now. It's fucking insane.
That is it's absolutely crazy. So it's shocking to me.
I mean, a huge amount of people have already fucking.
It's like, here's the thing. The last time this happened was 2016. 2016 shattered records, not to this extent, but it shattered the previous record for early and mail-in voting.
This year is fucking nuts. I mean,
this year's blowing doors on.
We're about to fucking watch a presidential debate tomorrow between Biden and Trump, and literally a huge chunk of Americans have already made up their fucking mind and locked themselves in. So it's weird. I can't think of a time prior to this where that's been the case. Like not to this extent. I mean, this is crazy.
I don't want to step on you, Scotty. You go ahead. You said.
I said it's so unique because normally it's like going into these debates. It's like everyone kind of traditionally believed like, hey, everyone's gonna head to the polls, and that's all these undecideds are gonna pull the lever. But a lot of people have already pulled the fucking lever. So in essence, the election already might be decided.
Dude, I was talking about it on fucking Ideology last night, and I was like, I do a lot of like, hey, beware, this has happened, something like this has happened before. But I was honest last night, and I was like, look, there's one thing that I can't remember in my lifetime before. And I was like, it's how fucking polarized this country is politically right now. Like I've seen it polarized at various times, and it certainly always has been a level of polarization, at least in my lifetime, between the left and the right in this country, Dems and Repubs, right?
Right.
Sure.
But the level of vitriol and the level of division, the division is so stark right now. There's such a large group of people that hates Republicans, most of all.
Right.
And there's such a large group of people that hates liberals, most of all. It's not really about the figureheads. That's just like those figureheads have become like an avatars for their sentiment towards their fellow man. So the lack of like common humanity that I see in America is really scary and really new. And there's a lot of consequence hanging on this election because of that. You know, that it's quite frankly, I'm frightened by it.
Yeah, I think
I think you should be. You should be. I mean,
it's elevated, and it's, you know what I mean, like to a level that I have not seen in
it's so rare now. Well, it's because it's like with the divisions, it's not just like, okay, well, I see your point, but here's my point. Well, I respectfully disagree with you, and we just disagree or whatever. You know, it's like it's
how it used to be. Like people,
but now it's like, no, I hate you. I fucking hate you. You're
Right.
this. You're that. You're whatever pejorative I'm going to throw at you, and we can't talk. And I don't want anything to do with you. And I want you to be canceled. I want you to be fired. I want you to be in the fucking gutter. I want you dead.
When I tell my like union stories and shit about my parents, people ask me like, "Well, what did the union vote?" And I said, to my knowledge, a lot of people voted Democrat, but there were a lot of Republicans as well. And they were like, well, how do they work that out? And I was like, they didn't. You know, that's not what the union was about. The union was about your fucking labor and your job and making sure that you had enough food on your table and you're being fairly compensated for the time and effort, and you were treated right, and you had a safe place to work. You weren't asked to fucking put your life on the line for their measly fucking beer bottles. Like, that's what the union was about. People don't understand this shit. And we're at a point now where it's like this politics thing, this I'm a Republican and I'm for Trump. I'm a Democrat and I'm not for Biden, but I'm again Trump. It's weird, dude. It's very strange.
So let's go ahead.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. Yeah, I didn't mean to interrupt us.
No, go ahead.
Well,
I could rant about that shit for fucking 2 hours, though.
I'm pro
humanity. That's what I'm pro.
It's well, bad news for you then. Televangelist Pat Robertson says God told him Trump will win. Then an asteroid will hit the Earth.
Well, if that's what God wants, why is he going to kill us anyways? What the fuck, dude?
Televangelist
like,
Pat Robertson.
God wants Trump, and then it's like, then it's Deep Impact? What the fuck, Trump? I mean, what the fuck, God?
Here goes. I want to share with you.
It's long, but I'll play some of it for you.
Please tell me how it's going to happen, and I hope I've got the word. But first of all, I want to say without question,
boost this volume
Trump
a little
is
bit.
going to win the election.
Without question.
All right.
You sit home and don't vote. That means you get out and do everything you can to work. But he's going to win. That's, I think, a given.
Then why? If it's a given, then don't even worry about it.
After he is sworn in, and his vice president is Mike Pence, then trouble is going to happen. He's going to be challenged by the Chinese, as you couldn't believe. He'll be faced probably with some kind of a war.
Yeah, I mean,
Probably with
there's
some kind of a war.
There's
This
probably,
dude
maybe, I don't know.
always-
Listen, no matter what happens, Trump's definitely going to win no matter what. And then he's going to be faced with war with China, and then the asteroid's coming.
Should the asteroid just hit China then? I mean, if like we're God's chosen people, shouldn't God intercede on our behalf? And it's like, oh, China's ascendant, asteroid.
Let me tell you
Asteroid
something.
hits Beijing, and then it's just done.
I've read the whole Bible, and God loves testing his chosen children.
That's true.
He doesn't. He sends the vilest plagues upon them because it's them that have to be strengthened in spirit. That's where the Catholics get this whole suffering is nobility.
Or God and the devil had a bet. Remember the
Yeah.
same.
Look at what they did to Job.
Yeah.
God could have stopped what happened to Job anytime. He's getting these big open sores. He goes blind.
His family dies.
His whole family drops dead of horrible diseases one by one, and still God doesn't intercede. He doesn't stop it. He just lets the devil absolutely torture this man. And the fucking parable, what that means is that suffering is noble in the service of God. So this whole, like, you got to understand the angle this is coming from. This is coming from what I believe to be, at least at the evangelical level, a death cult. Like a bunch of people that worship suffering and death. and think that it's the highest state of human being, crossing their fingers and hoping that China launches some fucking missiles or a fucking meteor comes because it fits their narrative. Their narrative is the world ends and the chosen, them, of course, are taken to heaven.
Of course.
And the unchosen, anybody else, is into fucking hell to burn for eternity and wallow in their sin and wallow in their regret for not believing when they should have. That's their whole fucking, that's what all the love and peace is about.
Koreans are going to have nuclear weapons. They're going to threaten us. The Russians are going to do everything they can. The Turks have got their things going. And
the Kirks?
The Turks.
The Turks.
Oh, okay. I thought I said the Kirks. I'm like, holy shit, he's talking about us.
He's having trouble talking through his ancient wooden choppers, TJ.
After Trump is sworn in, we're going to see civic disobedience in our America that will just be mind-boggling. The country will be torn apart. But you talk about Trump derangement syndrome, it's going to be horrible. Because already, without anything happening, we've got trouble in the streets.
So you support the guy?
2 attempts.
You support the guy, but your narrative is that under his leadership, the country is going to be torn apart because he's too inept to step up and be a leader. Because when countries tear themselves apart, it's because they have weak leaders. So what is it? Is Trump a strong fucking choice for president, or is he a weak leader that's going to allow the country to rip itself apart?
I'm going to go with B.
Well, no. But I'm asking fucking Pat Robertson here because he's tap dancing on 2 narratives.
I want to hear the part about the asteroid, man.
On the president's life.
Well, it's probably fucking
going to
11
be very
minutes
difficult.
into this.
So
Yeah,
I would just urge you, if you should pray for him. But
Yeah, I'm gonna
in
pray
the
for him.
process, in the process
Let's go
of
ahead.
it.
Oh my
And you-
God! Here we
He starts
go.
quoting the Bible.
Thereby,
Uh-huh.
just hold it. Now, who's going to be involved in coming against it is going to be the Muslim communities on the
All right, halfway
going to be
through.
restrained by God. And so they'll be held in check. This isn't the second coming. It's the way it's going to work. There's going to be a great move of God.
It's not the second
apostles came after the day of Pentecost, and they said, this is prophesied by the prophet Joel. In the latter days,
It's prophesied by the prophet Joe in the latter days.
Dude, why is
Pat
he
Robertson.
like his we've talked about his cheek nuts before?
Yeah, they're fucking. They look like they should be full of acorns.
Like his cheek, it looks like he's got a testicle tucked in to each side of his bottom lip. Like he's got a ball sack that's becoming the bottom of his face.
See those 2 fleshy sacks under his chin, Morty? Grab them.
Damn, he's got a couple balls on his face.
Yeah, and the nuts haven't dropped yet, dude. They haven't fucking dropped down into the sack yet. But
So
pretty soon
Here's what's gonna happen. All right, so
I
here's
think
the
he has Parkinson's
forecast.
disease, too.
Here's the forecast. This 90-year-old forecast. So first of all, Trump's gonna get reelected. Then massive civil unrest. Then there's going to be at least 2 attempts on Trump's life and a war against Israel that will be put down by God.
Whoa.
Why would there be a what? Okay. And then the world's going to see 4 or 5 years of extraordinary peace, and then the asteroid's going to hit.
Dude, Pat Robertson, no, I know exactly what this is. He's like, man, will I even be alive in 5 years? Probably not. 5 years from now, the asteroid's coming. Give us money. You better give us, you know what? You're not going to need that money because the asteroid. Are you a believer? You believe? Then give us the money. We'll hold on to it for you. Dude, what a grifter, man. Still 90 years old and still on the grift, dude. Got Parkinson's. His hands are fucking shaking. He's got 2 nuts on his fucking face. But he's still out there.
Dude,
I still need the money. What do you need the money for, Pat? What could you possibly do at 90 years old as a fucking broken down shell of a fucking human being? Like, what is the money going to do for you? Do you sleep on a bed of money? What does it fucking do? I don't even get it at this point. Like, why do you care about money?
Let me ask you a question, Scotty, because I'm not trying to invalidate your rant. That was a great rant, and I tend to agree. But I think that if I was an old man doing what I'm doing, and I had all the money in the world, let's say we get wildly successful and shit, and I could fucking just plop down for an hour a week and go I was right when I said that Biden was a bad idea, and nobody listened, and people kept sending in some extra dough. Like, I'd probably do it. And I think you would too.
Maybe
what I
so.
mean?
I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't really know if I
think
would care about
right
the
there,
money.
like, fucking my brother TJ always was a fucking asshole. I
All
was
right, well,
told.
I would do it for that reason. You know, Paul, you've convinced me. Yeah,
I'm
if I
just
could talk
telling you, like, if
TJ's
the
been
check
dead
kept
some
coming-
25 years, but he was a piece of shit when he was alive. Put his picture on screen like, oh, he was a fat son of a bitch. I always told him to stop smoking and lose weight. Now he's burning in hell.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Southern states are the seething center of America's pandemic.
Nuh-uh.
Even as
Oh,
public
God.
attention focuses on the coronavirus outbreak in the Midwest, the pandemic is quietly gathering force in a region that has already suffered greatly, the South. By absolute
I wonder
numbers, the
why.
region remains the national center of the pandemic. Many people are hospitalized with COVID-19 across the South, more across the South than any other place in the U.S. According to the COVID Tracking Project, which uses U.S. Census regions to sort statistics, it's a big gap with 17,116 now being treated in southern hospitals compared with 10,351 in the Midwest, 6,733 in the West. The northeast site of this year's deadliest coronavirus outbreak now has 3,405 people hospitalized.
Yeah, I mean, look at this graph here. It's amazing. It's like Northeast, and it's like, oh, they fucked it up. Look at them. But now, and this is based on 7-day tracking of average new cases, and you see it here.
Notice the
Northeast.
upward trend at the end of each one of these graphs too. So each one of these demographics is not like going down. They're all trending up.
But
Yep.
some
Even-
far worse than others.
Yeah.
I mean, we're looking at the Northeast. I mean, they're having an increase, but probably the most steady one, but still not a good news. The West is kind of like, looks like they're leveling off, maybe going back up. But the Midwest is like, it's like, I feel like the Midwest like saw what the South was doing and was like, we can't stand for this. So now the Midwest and the South are in a competition for who's dumber when it comes to coronavirus.
Yeah. I mean, and I got to be honest, I talk with my family that lives in Cali quite often, and
Yeah.
they're being real stupid in Cali too. So it's like there's going to be another wave of this shit in the West too.
Oh, you're right.
But right now, as it stands, it makes total sense to me that the South is really a fucking transmission hive for this shit.
Yeah, I mean, you see no precaution. I mean, when I go around here, I mean, I don't like to even go in places or anything because there's no precautions being taken by a lot of people around here. And not only that, I remember, I'd heard just the other night about some relative of Steve's. I don't know which relative it was, but had gotten coronavirus. And Steve originally had told me, he had no problems. He just got right through it. And I'm like, oh, that's good. He's like, this virus, bunch of bullshit, blah, 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 blah. And then I've come to find out that after Steve actually talked to the dude's like, no, man, it was fucked up and I still don't feel right. All this other stuff is like, oh, shit. I guess it is bad, so.
That's what it takes for some of these people to even consider taking it fucking seriously. And
to know people.
like once everybody that is not taking this seriously has had an experience like that, it's fucking, we've lost 1 million people or more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, so we gotta like, at some point it's gonna have to fight that. Dude, people ask me all the time, like why are you thinking about leaving? And like, this isn't the only reason, but like, take a look. It's in a book, dude. Look at the fucking way that this country has unnecessarily killed 200 and I think the last number I saw is 230,000 people.
The CDC just came out with something, Paul, it's called access deaths, taking into account coronavirus and everything else. And they put the number at about 300,000 people dead. And from various things like heart disease and other things. But just, I mean, look, with these hospitals being slammed, people aren't able to get adequate care. People are delaying care. People are doing things like they would not normally do. They're putting off chronic health conditions out of fear of going to a hospital or getting health care. And they're dying in excess numbers from that, in addition to this virus.
Some countries that handled this shit correctly have death numbers that are in the dozens,
yes,
or lower.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes countrywide, they're at one point where like, this is fucking crazy. And I think I talked about it because it was a couple of weeks ago. At one point, there were more active known COVID cases in the White House of America. We're just talking about people that were in the White House during the outbreak that happened there, the super spreader outbreak, right? That got Trump. There were more known active coronavirus virus cases in the White House than in New Zealand and a number of other small countries combined.
New Zealand took it seriously.
And
That's the only difference.
Not.
Well, and it's also about the public complying with these health orders. And a number of states obviously have been weak on this, but it's a number of states still have mask mandates, and a lot of places it's just like it's a joke. It's like, I mean, I've seen it. Like, you go into a grocery store, someone will put on a mask for like a second. They'll go in and it's like they don't wear a mask, or they'll walk around without a mask on. It's like you look at you have to look at them like they're crazy. Like, of course, you give them a wide ass berth. It's like, I'm trying to get my milk. I don't want to be wearing fucking near your dumb ass. But it's like it's just crazy because
California has a mask mandate in public in place right now, right? And you would think, oh, okay, well, good.
California, they're gonna follow it.
So my little town, not to, how I am. I always bring
yeah, but how's Madeira?
My little hometown. The outbreak started there. That is an ongoing outbreak now because once it's there, it's there.
Yes.
It started with a wedding. They did contact tracing and they found that during the mask order, the local authorities did nothing to stop a giant wedding that had people that drove in and flew in from all over the fucking country, by the way.
Wow.
It started an outbreak in my town, in my hometown, and spread to a lot of people. Took it back with them,
of course,
where they came from, and started outbreaks. And so it's horrible. Like nobody's, even with the mandate in place in these smaller rural places, which is where I can speak for.
Yeah,
nobody's taking shit seriously. They're telling you like no more than 3 households should be gathered at any time. Like that's their soft thing for families getting together. There shouldn't be no more than 3 households together at any one time. And it's routinely ignored. People are having huge barbecues, whole family coming over, big super spreader type of events. No masks, no bullshit, country music playing, hot dogs on the grill and hot links on the grill, sizzling. Coronavirus spreading, just good old home time, y'all. It's happening in Cali.
Yeah, so it's the people, right?
Right. There's no getting away from this. That's one of the reasons I want to get out, because it's like the people in these other countries, when the fucking they did it early. They banned travel from these affected areas early. They put a nationwide mask mandate and social distancing mandate in place early. And the people of these countries didn't fucking go, rebel, no, I'm not, masks off. They just did it and went on about their business. Uruguay didn't even shut down. They never had a shutdown. Their economy never shut down. They just imposed like curbside pickup rules, mask mandates, hand washing stations, etc. And it was business as usual. None of their local businesses closed. They didn't have the big economic downturn we did because they had to close down their whole fucking economy, because they took it seriously from day one. As soon as they knew, they banned travel from these other places. They locked down their cities, and that was it.
What you're saying is that in Uruguay, they actually care a lot more about their industries and their businesses than we do in this country, because a number of businesses here have shuttered, a number of restaurants, some of these industries like
here's the difference. We care about our businesses here in the United States, the big ones. So the businesses that are shuttering are locally owned or small corporate businesses. Like all these fucking restaurants and shit that have closed down out here, they're not big chain places.
Only a couple of chains have failed around here. Yep.
Right. And they've got fucking other restaurants to fall back on. You're talking about locally owned businesses. It starts to make you wonder about whether or not this economic shutdown was about saving people's lives and not cutting out the fucking local competition and allowing the big boys to gobble up ever more. I'm not saying plandemic. I'm just saying our shutdown did shit. Look at these numbers. It's right here on the fucking screen in front of you. This is the result of our shutdown of the economy. A bunch of shuttered businesses and everything on the rise and with COVID. Meanwhile, and granted, fucking Uruguay's a much smaller fucking country.
Uh-oh.
Paul,
I'll tell you what, even if we'd done the economic shutdown, if we just said, all right, economy shut down, but we put people on UBI, we fucking get money to the people who need it to keep the shit going. fucking pass a national fucking moratorium on rent and debt collecting and shit. It's like, no more. We're not doing that right now. Like, that can resume afterwards. So we're gonna just like there just needs to be, and I think Kyle Kalinske said it on his show, and I agree with him. There needs to be a fucking shutdown switch for this economy. For something like this happens, we have a fucking procedure. It's like, all right, we're going to do a shutdown, but there's how the shutdown works. We shut down the economy. We get money to these quadrants. We make sure people stay solvent. We fucking, we put up unemployment benefits for anyone who loses a job. But whatever, it's a temporary shutdown. If we'd done that for like a few months and then come back with all wearing masks and shit, we probably would have fucking got through this just fine. But
in that scenario, you have publicly elected officials whose main lobby and the people and what they care about is the people that elect them. They do not care about that. They don't represent those people. That's why if you watch Kyle Clinch's show, he'll talk time and time again. This is so popular. This is so popular. This is so popular. And it's like, we have no impact on it. 100% of people can agree. If it's not what fucking Jeff Bezos and other rich assholes agree, it doesn't fucking matter. The only way they give in is if they see, oh shit, this is going to really affect our money. Like if everyone said tomorrow, like Jeff Bezos, did some horrible thing, or he fucking killed 500 of his employees in a brutal rampage, then everyone said, okay, we're actually going to boycott Amazon. Oh, then Jeff Bezos' head will be on a fucking platter. But we know what's going to happen. It's just going to be, oh, it's so horrible. But you know what? Amazon's having Prime Day 2.0, even bigger sales. Who cares if he killed some people? And the funny thing is that he already did do that. He already did kill a bunch of people. A bunch of people got COVID working at Amazon. You think what happened? What happened to you? They went in the community and no one else got it from them? Amazon did kill a bunch of people. They don't care. They don't even want to give their employees sick leave.
No,
they don't want to give their employees more money.
People have died in their fucking centers just from being overworked. I mean, Amazon's killed plenty.
Oh, too bad. Too bad, so sad. But you know what? Jeff Bezos is making fucking $3,000 a minute, TJs. Isn't that good news?
Yeah,
I'm
glad. I'm glad.
The policies in this country just don't reflect what people actually want.
U.S. coronavirus cases surpass 8 million as infections spike nationwide.
Wow.
U.S. cases of the novel coronavirus crossed 8 million on Thursday, rising by 1 million in less than a month as another surge in cases hits the nation at the onset of cooler weather. Since the pandemic started, over 217,000 people have died in the United States. The United States reported 60,000 new infections on Wednesday, the highest since August 14th, with rising cases in every region, especially the Midwest. Health experts have long warned that the colder temperatures driving people inside could promote the spread of the virus. They have not pinpointed the reason for the rise, but point to a fatigue with COVID-19 precautions and students returning to schools and colleges. According to Reuters analysis, 25 states have so far set records for increase in new cases in October. So, yeah, we're not doing a great job with this. So, basically, like, America's sick of fucking taking precautions against the coronavirus. And, I mean, honestly, who could blame them? Because it's gone on for so long now. Like, if America had a rational response to this fucking thing, if we had a national, federal, consistent response that made sense, like, I don't believe we'd be looking at these kind of numbers. I really don't. I think the federal government completely dropped the ball. I think it's crazy. I think that the politicization of the COVID issue has fucked us, because really, like, if we lived in even a somewhat rational country, Republicans and Democrats could get together and say, hey guys, we disagree on a lot of things, but when it comes right down to it, this COVID shit, we all got to unite together to fucking take care of something like this. But they can't do it. All Midwest and Northeast states have reported more cases in the past 4 weeks than in the prior 4 weeks, with the number of new cases doubling in states like Wisconsin, South Dakota, and New Hampshire. So yeah, we've completely failed on this front, you guys. There's just no denying it. I mean, other countries have done so much better at this than we have. Donald Trump will not take any responsibility for it. That's fucking obvious. But, he hasn't been a leader on this issue. Like, you can say what you want about Donald Trump. Maybe you like his politics. Maybe you don't. Maybe you're fucking down for some of the stuff he says on immigration or whatever. But the fact of the matter is, like, whether you like Trump or you dislike Trump, he has not done a good job on this coronavirus shit. Like, there's just there's no argument to be made that he's done a good job on this.
Wrong. TJ?
Yeah, what's
Donald
up?
Trump has saved 3 million lives, TJ. 3 million.
Yeah, he likes to tout that. That 3 million life prediction was literally the prediction for what the number would be if the United States did absolutely nothing. Like if we just said fuck the coronavirus, we don't care. We're just going to go about business as completely usual, then that would have been 3 million. So, I guess good on him for at least doing enough that we're not at 3 million. But 217,000 is still an unacceptable fucking number. 300,000 by some fucking estimates. I mean, that's not an acceptable number of fucking casualties for this shit. We know that because we've seen other nations deal with this, and they don't have nearly even by per capita shit, they don't have those kind of numbers. So, I mean, I don't know if we're the worst in the world. I think Brazil is pretty bad too. I know Mexico, they don't have as high of a fucking infection rate, but I think they have a higher death rate. So, I mean, it's not like America.
And by the way, TJ, filled with bad people.
Yes, they're rapists, they're murderers. But I'm not saying that the United States has done the worst job on this because there's other factors to consider other than just infection rates and stuff like that. The death rates, there's countries with higher death rates and all that stuff. But, if you really assess how we did on this, it's not great. Just because you can point to a few places that maybe are worse, that doesn't mean we did well. We didn't. There's a lot of countries that did a lot fucking better than we did.
Or our testing in this country was next to useless because people would get results a week later. Oh, so even if you contact trace, hey, by the way, you came into contact with someone with coronavirus. Well, let me go get a test. Okay, great. So how long am I going to get the results from now? Could be 10 days. What? Yeah, it could be 10 days. You may or may not have it, and by then, you might even actually be through it, if you even do have it. And, don't be around other people. We can't say that for sure, though, but okay. What is that going to do for people? How's that helpful to anyone? If you don't get the results quickly, then testing is worthless. It's irrelevant.
Yeah, so, countries like, let's see, Australia, they're doing okay. They've been able.
These countries,
they had a big old spike, but they've had some flare ups. But Australia looks like they've pretty much got it down. Brunei, they had a big flare up early on back in March, April, and they've fucking got it under control. Cambodia, actually looks like they have it under fucking control. Haiti's got it under fucking control better than we do at this point. I mean, it's just it's not impressive to me. Like Mongolia, Mongolia has some of the worst air quality in the world, and even there.
You're talking about countries that don't even have developed infrastructure for healthcare are somehow coping better than a country that does.
Thailand, their recovery, incredible, basically. I mean, they had a big spike back in March, April. It doesn't even look like they've had new cases in fucking months. They've kept it out of their fucking country.
It's because it became politicized. Wearing a mask became a political statement. So you have a bunch of people that don't want to comply with it simply because it's taking the wrong position.
That's what I'm saying. The biggest problem we have in this country is always just the fucking dumbs because they just don't. I mean, they don't want to listen to science. They don't want to listen to facts. They just want to make up whatever fucking reality that suits them best. And it's I'm sick of it. They're ruining everything. We cannot have a functional society where there's a giant chunk of people who just ignore science, who ignore information, who ignore data. And who just think that they can
convenient.
They just think they can make up whatever the fuck they want. They're not rational people, and I'm tired of fucking giving deference to their fucking position when they're not willing to be reasonable. Like, you know what? There's a lot of stuff in this world that's subjective. Like, when it comes to stuff like should gays be allowed to marry or something? To me, the answer is a no-brainer yes. But at the end of the day, marriage is a man-made institution, and you can have whatever fucking opinion you want about homosexuality or whatever.
How dare you go forward without me, you rude.
We were just keeping the room warm for you, Paul.
Usurpation is what I see before me. Usurpation. My intellect was not bent towards whatever you've been talking about, TJ. That is unfair. The people need me. I, the center, the beating heart of the universe.
Oh, damn, Paul. We're just going to say in conclusion, that's why Paul is a genius, but I'm sorry. Never mind. We apologize.
Shit. Fuck,
Shouldn't have
I
said that.
hoisted by my own petard again.
Yeah.
In conclusion,
it's just
I guess-
more.
It's just
COVID shit.
still more Corona shit. Just talk about how
Yeah.
badly the U.S. fucking botched
my
it.
Corona.
Just talk about how badly we botched it compared to other countries, and how inept the fucking leadership has been, and how stupid these people are who just like refuse to listen to science or reason. And I was just saying,
I sound okay
When convenient.
now, by the way.
oh yeah, you sound great.
Okay.
I was just saying that, like,
remember,
you know,
they
there's
don't
a lot.
reject science.
Well, hold on, I just want to say this, and then I'll shut the fuck up about it. The only thing I want to say
No,
is
it's okay.
that when it comes to all these subjective issues in politics, I understand why there's a left and right wing on that shit. Because, you know, when it's down to subjectivity and opinion, it makes sense. There's dissent, but there's not subjectivity or opinion on this. This is just fucking facts.
No, I agree.
And it seems like when like, you cannot allow, like, we've basically as a country fucking need to embrace the mantra that you're entitled to your own opinion, you're not entitled to your own facts. And Mike Pence ironically kept saying that to Kamala Harris during his debate. But they obviously don't believe that, because they fucking do feel like they're entitled to their own facts. They can just make whatever reality they want.
I made note of that during the Kamala Harris Pence debate. Him using that tagline that was clearly coined by Obama, right? And to me, it was just a sign of...
It's an older quote, I believe.
Not necessarily... Well, yeah, I'm sure it is. I'm sure Obama cribbed it. Like, it's like everything. It's just cyclical. They're like it was like us covering Melania stealing fucking fucking Michelle Obama speech. Right. It's the same shit. It's just theater. Like the politicians in this country. I won't speak for other countries. Other countries, clearly it's not. Clearly, they have serious people who take very seriously their charge of protecting the people that live in that country. But in our country, we don't have that. We have theater in this country. We have a system that is set up to support big business and to give us the illusion that they're looking out for us, but really to spend the least amount of money they have to in order to keep that illusion up. And when something like this happens in this country, it goes to shit. And really, who's the victim of this? Besides the people that have died and their families. Let's set that aside, which sounds cold, but the victims of this are people that own their own businesses, small communities that now have no choice but to go to Walmart or some chain fucking store instead of a restaurant that cooked things from scratch. That's the real fucking damage that was done by coronavirus to this point.
Well, let me ask you guys this question. How much do they spend on the military in the U.S. every year? Do you guys have any idea?
It's in I know it's like, isn't it over $1 trillion now?
I think it's like $1.25 trillion.
Right.
You know what the budget for the CDC is?
It's probably in the millions, I would guess.
It's $10 billion.
10 billion? Wow, that's higher than I thought it was, but still a fucking paltry sum when it comes to the
we should be spending way more
on
on public health. And
right.
even then, that was fucking gutted.
Breaking news. Jared Leto to play Joker in Zack Snyder's Justice League exclusive.
Boycott it, dude. No one should see this fucking movie. They're gonna be so disappointed.
Universe fucking strikes again, gentlemen.
Take me home.
Why would you do this?
Looks like Jared Leto is getting the last laugh as he joins the shooting of additional scenes for the Snyder Cut. Because Zack Snyder's doing his own So he was doing the Justice League. He got kicked off the project for personal bullshit, or he left the project because his life was falling apart or whatever. And then fans demanded, "We want the Snyder Cut. We want the Snyder Cut," because they brought some other director in to finish it. I think it was Ron Howard or something. I don't remember who they fucking got, but
it wasn't Ron Howard. But
I was thinking. I'm thinking of the Star Wars movie. They got him to fucking take over.
Nah, dude, it was Ron Howard.
But whatever. Ron Howard directed every movie.
We'll go with it.
So,
yeah, Ron Howard, what are you doing, man?
Jared Leto, who played the classic DC villain The Joker in 2016 Suicide Squad, has joined the additional photography shooting for the Snyder Cut, the film's definitive version of the 2017 superhero movie he was forced to exit, and he never saw through to completion.
You know what? Because this is so look, dude, this is so fucking depressing. Can I just marvel, as an aside real quick, at the weird, strange, meteoric career of Ron Howard and how much I fucking envy it, dude. He's like such a weird tale in Hollywood. He was a child star. He was Opie. in fucking the Andy Griffiths show.
That's right.
Like, that's how he got his start. And he moved on to be one of the most respected directors and producers in America. He's made some fucking like phenomenal films. He's not one of these like guys that just make schlock and is celebrated for it, like Bruckheimer or whatever. You know what I mean? He's made some really good, solid. I mean, he's made a few stinkers. I'm not going to suck his dick to the point where he's like the auteur of the century or some shit, but enviable career on Rod Howard. Let's put it that way. Again, fuck this Suicide Squad shit, and fuck Jack Snyder for putting this horrible bastardization of a character that I don't even really love. I just care about. You know what I mean? Like, I don't. TJ, I can't imagine how you must feel about this. This would be like saying that like Timothy Chalamet fired from Dune, replaced with Jared Leto, who will play Paul Atreides. You know what I mean? Like,
you know, it's not really as bad as all that for me, because one of the things about the Joker is there are so many interpretations of the character that, you know, I mean, his interpretation of it is totally cringe to me. But at the same time,
it's
like,
beyond cringe.
Yeah,
though.
it doesn't.
It's
I don't
beyond.
really. Yeah, I mean, like, and you know, the thing is, too, Suicide Squad was so fucking awful that really, like, his Joker was not even close to the worst thing about that movie for me. It was just like, it was just such a terrible movie that, like, I mean, he's awful.
Do you think that the Joker as a property in general would be better?
Two guys have won Oscars for portraying the fucking Joker.
Right. So that's what I'm saying, though, is like, do you think that the Joker would be better off as an entity having never been portrayed by Jared Leto?
Yeah, I think he would be. Yeah.
Yeah. That stings, dude. And it sucks that they're not done. It sucks that like somebody called him up again and was like, hey, don the fucking damaged tattoo one more time and put in the diamond earrings and the absurd grill and be gangster Joker one for some extra
scenes. If they're smart about this, you know, and I don't think they are, because I think Jared Leto is a pretentious cocksucker, but if they're smart about this, they're bringing this version of the Joker back to have him killed or something. You know what I mean?
Dude, here's what it is with
for
Jared
like catharsis, Leto. You know?
I've actually been doing a lot of thinking about Jared Leto because Leto.
I don't know. I don't know either.
I still don't know. I don't really care. I hear
it both
who gives
ways. A shit? Yeah.
I'll go with Leto because that's what I used to call him, but I hate it now because I associate it with Leto Atreides. So I don't want to do that. I don't want him anywhere near Dune. But okay, so
let's be in Dune, Paul. For all we know.
Here's the thing about Jared Leto, right? You cannot deny his talent. And he's a triple threat too. He can act, he can dance, and he can sing. We know this from his movies. And he's got a fucking band, 30 Seconds to Mars or whatever the fuck. And if you listen to it, yeah, it's pussy rock, but he's got a good voice. He's a talented dude. You cannot deny he's a talented dude.
I mean, he wouldn't be in the position he was in if he had zero talent. Of
so
course.
You can't blame his shit performance in pretty much everything that he's in on lack of talent. So what is it? What's to blame? I think personally that when he did Requiem for a Dream, his head got so blown up with the very deserved accolades he got in that movie. He's brilliant in that movie. Mm-hmm. He's the glue that holds together all these horrible stories, and he does it great. He's great. He was born to play that role. It's a great role. I think he heard that and got this idea that he was now Jack Nicholson, basically, and he could pretty much do anything he wanted. He's like, well, I'm Joaquin Phoenix now. You know what I mean? I can throw anything at me, and I'm going to just whatever I do is going to be brilliant because look what I did. Look what I've done. Look at these accolades. Look at this Oscar nod my movie got. Whatever it is that fucking. I think he had a moment where his talent became secondary, and he started believing in himself, and he stopped drawing on the things that made Requiem such a haunting, beautiful, memorable performance because he didn't think he had to anymore. He just thought he just oozed talent.
Well, I will say this, Paul. The man who was directing Dune literally described Leto's performance in Blade Runner 2049 as like awe-inspiring and brought him to tears. So,
see, I've heard that quote, and look, dude, I stand beside Denis. I've seen his other work. I loved Sicario. I thought it was great.
Same.
I beyond loved. I mean, go look at the effusive praise TJ and I heaped on fucking Blade Runner after we went and saw it.
But I'm just saying you're putting a lot of trust in him with this Dune
Right.
thing. I mean, do you trust his judgment on Jared Leto is what I'm
Well,
saying.
here's the thing. I think that Jared Leto's character maybe could have been like the design was cool. Like if you take the performance out of the equation, you look at stills from that movie, the design of the character is cool. It's a blind guy that uses the swarm of drones to see for him. And you know what I mean? He's kind of like transhumanist in that way. And that's a cool fucking idea. And there's some really dramatic shots of him where he looks cool. And maybe that's what, Denis prioritizes. And that's why his movies are like every frame of painting kind of movies,
Oh, for sure.
But like, look, when it comes down to it, you can find quotes from pretty much every director where they laud some movie that sucks or enjoy the performance of some actor that we all think blew it. Like nobody's there. I've never run across a director that's fucking perfect. And Jared Leto is. I'm just saying.
That's like, well, that's interesting. Well, it is walking a very tightrope with what you're saying, but I do get what you're saying. You're saying, you're like, look, this is the entertainment industry. He doesn't want to fucking shit on the guy who was you might want to work with in the future.
How would it
maybe
serve?
respects? Obviously, he probably respects Jared Leto as a performer and an artist.
Right.
And he probably just wants
like
to.
Us. Like, I'm not trying to like draw parallels, but it's like why we don't trash people we've worked with as a rule. You know what I mean?
Generally,
even if we have a reason to here or there, we don't trash people that are working in the business with us because it's like, how does that serve us? Drama is a fleeting fucking master. TJ knows this, probably better than most people. Yeah, if he was here.
I think he's gone away.
What's that?
I was just saying, never mind.
How's Twitter, what's going on with Twitter right now, TJ?
Yeah, how's Twitter?
I don't know.
You know?
Sure. Oh no, he was getting a drink.
He went to go get a drink. Okay. Once you pop, the fun don't stop. It's okay. Never mind.
Anywho, fuck this. More. Should probably put this for the other COVID shit, but we can just talk about this briefly. All 62 residents at Kansas nursing home have COVID-19, which is ridiculous. 10 have died. Great nursing home you got going.
Let's just have us a COVID party, boy. Get it all out of the way.
A coronavirus outbreak has killed 10 residents in Kansas nursing home, and the local health department said every one of the residents has tested positive for COVID-19 as of Monday, along with an unspecified number of staff. The affected home is in northwest Kansas, Norton County, which has seen one of the largest proportional increases in confirmed coronavirus cases over 2 weeks in the country. The Norton County Health Department confirmed. So basically, just like this entire place is just Corona Central.
Oh, and let me tell you something, dude. Taylor's grandma lives in a nursing home. I mean, not like she's not like that, but it's like assisted living, all that kind of stuff. Like, and they were super strict, and none of their residents got COVID.
Yeah, well, obviously this one's not as strict, and all of the residents have COVID. Literally everybody, and 10.
That's what I'm saying. So when people say, "Oh, it's like old people are just going to get this kind of thing," no, this is a failed policy. This is no one in this place taking it seriously. The employees that work there almost assuredly brought this in. Probably let people come and visit. Didn't have any sort of fucking rules, and then literally everyone, not one single person, didn't get fucking COVID.
All right. Well, we've talked enough about COVID today, I think.
Fuck COVID.
So this is the last pleb story. Actually, sorry, another COVID thing. Let's see. Is this worth talking about? Oh, this is kind of fun. Just in case you had hope. AstraZeneca shares turn negative after Brazilian health authority says volunteer in COVID vaccine study dies.
What was it related to the vaccine?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Shit.
I think it was. Let's see. Let's just read the key points. AstraZeneca shares turned negative after a Brazilian health authority and Visa said a volunteer in its coronavirus vaccine study died. The Federal University of Sao Paulo, which is helping coordinate late-stage trials in Brazil, separately said that the volunteer was Brazilian, according to Reuters. The news comes as the Food and Drug Administration still has a late-stage clinical trial from AstraZeneca on hold in the United States. So basically, I don't know if the vaccine killed them or if it was just ineffective.
Right.
But
was this person infected already as a volunteer and made a volunteer?
See.
Or what was...
All significant medical events are carefully assessed by trial investigation. These assessments have not led to any concerns about continuing the ongoing study.
Because here, the truth of the matter is people die every fucking day.
Right. So we don't know.
Yeah.
So if this dude dropped dead of a heart attack or an aneurysm or a fucking brain bubble or whatever the fuck, you know what I mean? Like that had.
I feel like if there was really
nothing to do
if there
with
was a
that
strong connection, they'd probably be touting it here in these key points. So
clickbait.
Right, but the market did respond. I mean, AstraZeneca's fucking shares went through the bottom.
And this is
it went down 1%, didn't it?
What's that?
It didn't. I think it said it went down 1%. That's nothing.
Oh, really?
Where is
it
that?
It said it went down 1%. If I'm not mistaken,
shares were down by 1. This is a bullshit story.
This is a nothing
wow.
burger.
Total
1%.
All right,
fucking bullshit.
Sorry,
story.
plebs. I'll let you sit in for one more because that.
Fuck the plebs. Cut them off on the shit story.
No,
why are we giving them?
Because I want
them any more nuggets.
I want their appetite whetted for something better. So, FBI refuses.
Everything on this list is going to be better than that last fucking shit.
Here we go. FBI. This one's fun, but we can do it quick. FBI refuses to name well-known North Carolina pastor accused of urinating on woman during flight.
Whoa! I want to give her a golden shower.
A Michigan woman says she woke up to someone urinating on her while she was on a Delta flight home. Man, what the fuck, dude? That someone happened to be a well-known North Carolina pastor, according to a report.
Why not?
The pastor, who has not been publicly identified, was issued a court appearance for misdemeanor assault and released, said Mara Schneider, a spokesperson for the Detroit office of the FBI. Until he appears in front of a judge and therefore gets formally charged, we will not be releasing his name. Say it felt warm. Like on the side of me, I felt something warm, she told WJBK. I jump up and I see his private area out and I scream, and that woke everybody up. By that time, I actually looked at him and I see him shake himself off, and I'm like, this man just peed on me. I looked and there was a puddle of pee in the seats. What the fuck, dude? Can you imagine that?
I want to ask you guys something. Have you ever thought about pissing on someone on a flight?
No.
Ever in your life?
I never even the possibility never crossed my mind. But like, just imagine you're sitting there in your seat and you feel all of a sudden this warmth on your arm and this wetness, and you're like, "What the fuck?"
Feels good.
And
nice warm.
You turn, you look, you see a fucking dick in your face, and it's just pissing on you. You know?
Maybe you know what, guys? Maybe it really just had to go really bad. Like he couldn't hold it. There's a line for the bathroom. He's like, "Fuck! I just gotta go on this bitch. I'm just gonna fucking piss right here." It's going to be good.
I want to know who this was, and I want to know what their fucking Fox 2 said it reached out with people associated with pastors. Do they know?
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
There is a bunch of stories right now. So I've been looking, right? And there's a bunch of stories about which pastor peed, but nobody's naming names, right? So I'm on right now the North Carolina Conference. Which is a collection of Methodist leaders, Christians, basically.
Right.
Yeah. Now it's restricted to just Methodists, which kind of fucking, might fucking poison the well a little bit. So I'm looking, dude. I know for a fact there's some kind of big North Carolina. Let's see, North Carolina.
Who is it? Paul's trying to sleuth it. It sounds like these motherfuckers know, because it says Fox 2 has also reached out to people associated with the pastor for comment.
This is what I'm talking about. So they're just not naming names and shit. So I'm trying to figure out what the media is too pussy to fucking figure out.
Who could North Carolina it be Christian now?
So here's a big organization, the North Carolina Christian School Association. Let's see who's on the board of this.
All right.
About us.
Maybe someone in the comments knows.
Let's see. Aside from Sir, okay.
So here's what this guy says. It's Reverend William J. Barber II, but that's just some random commenter, so who knows?
William J. Barber II, huh?
That's what this person. That's what this person threw out there into the ether.
American Association.
This guy says Frankie Graham, but he's more speculative. This person said it like he thinks it's definitely this, but Is a reverend the same thing as a pastor? Because I've always thought that was two different distinctions. But
I mean, they're pretty much interchangeable, to be honest with you. Certain denominations call the heads different things. So sometimes they're called reverends, sometimes they're called preachers, sometimes they're called pastors. It just depends on the denomination and the flavor. Really, I mean, there is a difference. Like some of them have different organizational structures, so this means that. Like there's bishops, like in some of these Christian church structures and shit. So yeah, but I mean, ultimately, it's kind of the same shit. The dude at the pulpit, he's a preacher, he's a pastor, he's a minister. That's another one. Clayton Christensen. Clayton M. Christensen, in loving memory. It's the Christensen Institute. Friend and founder Clayton Christensen. Dude, I don't know. It's so fucking weird that it's like I've got this Christian School Associate Connect. Like, what do I got to do here? Like emails to specific NC.
This is the woman who got peed on.
Forwarded as needed.
Paul, you're just gonna write to everyone, be like, "Hey, did you pee on this woman? Hey, did you pee on this woman?"
Like, it's so weird how these websites hide. You know what I mean? Like they're fucking, like they got an About Us section, but it doesn't list like who's on the board. You know what I mean?
I'll tell you what makes me pee every time: Diet A&W, with its rich aged vanilla taste.
I too enjoy crisp, refreshing Diet A&W, Scotty.
Oh, Jesus. Look at the
gentleman of refinement. Paul, I'm sorry.
Where's your Diet A&W, Paul? Do you have a Diet A&W to show?
I would if I was brought in on this obvious transaction that happened.
Strange that you don't love the crisp and refreshing taste of Diet A&W, Paul.
I do.
Oh, you do?
Just not as much as a man that's paid to fucking chill it.
I have not been paid a cent for this endorsement. I simply love this product.
I love it as well. It is delicious. Anyway, bye, plebs. Fuck you. If you want to see the rest of the show, you know what to do. Become patrons.
Twiddly-dee, twiddly-doo.